about BRICS? What is BRICS about? When you have included also colonial, neo-colonialists, so can you just explain to us how BRICS can help us to reshape the economy in Africa, and put us, on the global stage from the right perspective. Thank you.
Madam Oga, thank you very much. And because I had a discussion recently at the platform around BRICS. And look, for me, you have to belong somewhere. And the advantage of BRICS is that whether we like it or not, globally, when it comes to economic power, the monopoly has been in the G3, G7. The only time African countries start getting into it is when you start getting G20. That's the sad reality. It's not a pleasant, but it's a sad reality. BRICS, for me, why I like it, whether it's South Africa in there or Nigeria is in there, is that you've got two big powers in there. You've got India, Russia, and China. I think you need to create a competitive world, because remember, the danger of communism and socialism, it defies competitiveness. Once you have competitiveness, it enforces quality, because now somebody's trying to do the other. So in a world that is monopolized historically by the G3, by the G4, G5, G7, it brings an element of competitiveness. That's why, and they're not silly. One of the reasons why the West is so anti-BRICS having its own currency is because what it will mean is that it will compete with the US. And when you have a monopoly, you try and lock out everybody else. So that's a good thing about it. But it has to also have economic translation and fairness. So I hear you with regards to, you've got your China in there, but we let China be China in Africa. The same China that builds underrated bridges in Africa is the same China that is building the iPhone that is selling for $3,000 or whatever in the US. So it really boils down, as much as we point fingers at China, we point to ourselves. Because if America is importing on average $400 billion per annum from China, and they're not complaining about quality, why is it in Africa we can bring things from China? So there's an element of leadership and quality that is also our responsibility. With regards, so coming back to BRIC, I think BRIC can work to our advantage. Bear in mind, I think as a capitalist, and I think sometimes you have to say, okay, how can I make this work for me in conjunction with the diversity and the complexity we have in Africa? And I think it's impossible. I think it's possible, but again, it takes leadership, it takes forethought.